Tough time for migrants living in the UK, most especially international students and those on a pre-settlement visa. There has been a strong push for the new conservative 12-point migration plan that we have proposed earlier this year. With the recent change of the Home Secretary and some key cabinet members, the new conservative 12-point migration plan is gaining more momentum to implement the 12-point migration plan as proposed by the new conservative. So guys, you need to stick with me to the end of this video as I'll be reading out the 12-point migration plan that we have proposed that is gaining more momentum to be implemented. Hi guys, if you're coming across this channel for the first time, my name is Victor. In this channel, I give latest updates about UK and UK immigration, ways you can study abroad, and also ways you can migrate through the skilled workers migration route. If this content looks exciting to you and you gain value for this video, don't forget to subscribe to this channel to join the amazing evergreen family. You can leave your thoughts on the comment box and you can as well give a thumb up so YouTube can recommend to a wider audience. So guys, without further ado, let's get straight into today's video. There are a group of MPs who call themselves the New Conservative. This group of MP, they've come up with a 12-point migration plan to see how they can reduce net migration in the UK. This 12-point migration plan has been on for some months. Recent events leading to cabinet reshuffle by the UK Prime Minister. This 12-point migration plan by this new set of MP that calls themselves the New Conservative has been gaining more momentum. Some of this 12-point migration plan, if put into law and come into effect, it will shut the door for migrants coming to the UK, and skilled workers who are here in the UK also will struggle to make a progression after the end of their current visa and tenure. So guys, that is why you need to stick with me to watch the full video to the end to get this full information, to be able to guide yourself. And for those who are planning to come to the UK, this will be a very good tool that you can use to sharpen your migration plan within the coming days and in the coming months. I'll be reading out the 12-point migration plan as outlined by the new set of MP that calls themselves the New Conservative. From proposal that were made, one is no right for graduate students to stay in the UK for 2 years after their course. So what this implies is the post-studies and work permits that international students enjoy upon graduation. It's one of the proposals they are coming up with to scrap the post-study work permit, such that upon graduation, you have no right to remain back in the UK. The only right you have is for you to leave the UK and return back to your country. So this is one of the proposed plan by the new set of MP that call themselves the New Conservative. One other plan that was also proposed is reserve university study visas for brightest international students. For you to be able to gain admission into any UK university must be on a merit basis. It's not enough for you to present your first degree if you are coming for a master's program. It's not for you to just present your first degree and other primary requirements for you to be able to gain admission. Probably an aptitude test or a test-based system where you be tested to be sure that you merit it. So this will be another bottleneck for those who are planning to come into the UK on a study route, as proposed by the new set of MP that calls themselves the New Conservative. Another plan that was also proposed is one, raise minimum combined income threshold to 26,200 for sponsoring a spouse. So if you are living in the UK and you want to sponsor your spouse, probably you are not married, or when you came into the UK as a single person, right, you want to reunite with your spouse. For those who are married here in the UK and their spouse is living abroad, and you want your spouse to reunite with you here in the UK, you need to be earning up to a certain amount before you can be able to bring your family to join you. So that will be 26,200 per annum. So if you are earning anything below that, you cannot be able to apply for your family to come and join you here in the UK. You can say this is another bottleneck. Most migrants earn below that threshold, right? Most of those working in the health and care, working remote part-time job, most of them work earn below this threshold. So if you are working below this threshold and you have family back home, you cannot be able to bring them to join you here in the UK if this proposed plan come into effect. Another plan that was also proposed by this new set of MP that calls themselves the New Conservative, it's closed scheme granting eligibility for workers visa to care workers and senior care workers. This is something that has been on the news for a couple of months, if not up to a year. And the health and care visa is one of the easiest and cheapest means you can use to migrate to the United Kingdom, and also for international students who are looking forward to switch to a work visa upon graduation. So what they are proposing is to scrap that eligibility, right, for international students and for migrants who are intend coming to the UK to come in through the health and care route. So they are thinking of pulling out the health and care visa from the eligibility list that can sponsor migrants here in the UK to either stay here on the long run or to use as a tool to migrate to United Kingdom. So if this proposed plan come into effect, the health and care worker visa will be scrapped, will not be eligible to sponsor skilled workers here in the UK. Another plan that was also proposed by this new set of MP that calls themselves the New Conservative, it pass and implement the provision of the illegal migration bill. I understand illegal migration is one thing the UK is also trying to see how they can discourage. So they are coming up with different measures to see how they can discourage illegal migration. This is something nobody can question. No country will want to allow illegal migrants into their country. At least anybody that is living in the country should have a status so that you can be able to account for who is living in the country. Another plan that was also proposed by this new set of conservative is Migration Advisory Committee to report on effect of migration on housing and public service. The Migration Advisory Committee is the body that is responsible to advise the government on skill sets or job that is eligible to fall under the shortage occupational list, right? So if a skill set is considered to be in demand, probably within the UK, it's difficult to get people to fill such position. That job will be passed to the advisory committee to look into it to see if such a job can be put into the shortage occupational list, and thereby the requirement to get sponsorship or get such a job will be reduced to attract people either within the UK from abroad to be able to apply into that position. So that is the function of the Migration Advisory Committee. So now with the influx of migrant coming to the UK within the past few years, right, that has put more pressure on housing and schools and all that. So now they are seeking to get a report, right, from the Migration Advisory Committee on the effect of migration in the housing sector. So if this bill come into effect, right, it will also be a big blow, because there are so many families that migrated to the UK that spend months struggling to get accommodation. And you know, the requirement for you to be able to rent an apartment, it's not just for you to get an apartment and 20 persons live in there. So if you have a certain number, if you're a family of four, a family of six, there's certain accommodation that is you are supposed to be able to rent and live in comfortably. So you cannot be family of six and rent a two-bedroom apartment. So some of these are the bottleneck they are trying to see how they can eliminate. So if this proposal come into effect, this will also be a blow on migrants. Another proposal that's been made by this new set of conservative among the 12-point migration plan is to raise the main skilled workers visa salary threshold to £38,000 per annum. You know, for you to be able to sponsor a skilled worker here in the UK, you must be able to pay a minimum of £26,000 per annum. So they are trying to raise it from 26,000 to what? 38,000 per annum. This will further discourage employer and others to be able to recruit foreign skilled workers from abroad, because for you to be able to earn up to £38,000 per annum, you must be able to fall into a certain cadre. So for those who are planning to come into the UK as a skilled worker, this will be another bottleneck because it's not easy to get a job that will pay you up to that amount per annum, right? Most especially a job that falls within the shortage occupational list that pay lesser than that. So with this, it will be very difficult for employer to recruit skilled workers from abroad, and this will further reduce the number of persons coming into the UK. One other proposal that was made also is raise immigration health surcharge to 2,700 per person a year. This is the last stroke that will break the camel's back. You know, of the immigration health surcharge was recently increased from about 600 and something pounds to 1,030 pounds. That will take effect from next year, January next year. So now with this proposal, increasing it from the current amount that has been prescribed effective January 2024 from 1,030 pounds to about 2,700 per person. Guys, this is not doable. Even if you get a job here in the UK, it is not profitable for you to be able, in fact, it doesn't make sense to pay IHS fee for 2,700 per person in a year. Let's do a simple mathematics. So if you're a skilled worker and you're given 3 years visa sponsorship to work and remain here in the UK, and you are meant to pay IHS fee of 2,700 per year, right? So, and as a family of 4, you need to pay for each family member as a dependent living with you here in the UK. So if you are given a 3 years visa sponsorship and you are paying 2,700 as IHS fee, so you need to pay a minimum of 8,100 for that 3 years. And if you're a family of 4, you have to times 8,100 by the number of family member, which is 4, for instance. So you'll be paying about 32,400 for IHS fee for the period of 3 years. The question is, will you be able to save 32,400 within that period of sponsorship? Knowing fully well that is not the only amount you pay. You need to pay your rent, you need to pay your bills and all that here in the UK. And you need to pay visa fee when applying for your visa. So you can see it doesn't worth it. If this bill comes into effect, I'm telling you for free, nobody will pick up a skilled worker's job in the UK. How will you pay 2,700 per year on IHS fee? Even if you are coming in as a single person, paying 8,100 for 3 years sponsorship doesn't worth it, because you still have other bills you need to pay. You need to pay your rent, you need to pay all the bills, you need to pay your tax as you're working, you need to pay as your tax, pay as you go and the likes. You need to pay your NI, your national insurance and all the likes. So guys, if this bill comes into effect, it will further discourage migrants from coming into the UK, because the rules, the proposal, it's not people friendly, and it will be something migrants will not be able to afford. Another proposal that was also made is 20,000 cap on refugees accepted for resettlement. Also, cap on humanitarian schemes such as Ukraine and Afghanistan and Hong. Those are people in a war zone area that are fleeing their country for incident of war and other civil unrest in their country. And the last one is a ban on postgraduate and master's student from bringing in a family to the UK. This has been passed into law and has gotten assent from the parliament and the likes. From January 2024, international students can no longer bring dependents into the UK if they are coming here for study, most especially those coming here for study that are not considered a research and program, so they can't come into the UK with their student dependent. This one has gained assent and it has been passed into law, but most of the ones I read out, they are still in a proposal stage. But with the new cabinet reshuffle, the next year election and the like, so many things might come into play, because the Conservatives are trying to consolidate on their own stronghold to see how they can gain support of the British people to be able to retain power. So if all of these proposals that they are pushing forward, these new Conservatives are pushing forward, if they gain the light of the day, it will bring a huge setback to those who are planning to migrate to the United Kingdom, international students who are currently studying here, and even those who are on a pre-settlement and status here in the UK. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. If you are planning to come to the UK, you need to watch this video. You need to share this video to so many persons so they can also get this information, this vital information I just shared, so they can put their act together. And as well, you can subscribe to this channel. If you are listening and you've not subscribed to this channel, what will you gain? If you are watching this video, you've not give a thumb up to this video, what will you gain? You can leave your thought also in the comment box so that I will know what you think about the video, ways we can improve and ways we can see how we can do things differently to get new results. So guys, we've come to the end of this video. See you in my next video.